Okay, boxing fans, right now I'm talking about robberies. Boxing robberies! And I was just thinking about a few of the different things. One of the things I was thinking about was this article I read today on a boxing website, and it said, Julio Diaz, and this is what he said: I'll have to KO Amir Khan in order to win in the UK. And I was thinking about it, and it just seems like such a uneducated and pathetically Americanized. He's not American, he's Mexican. Such a uneducated response, considering he's fought in Texas and been on the end of one there. This guy, and his last fight as well. Did anyone see his last fight against Sean Porter? No wonder he should be happy to come over here more like. I was thinking about robberies in the UK, and I don't know, maybe you guys can help me out. Can you guys think of any proper Stonewall robberies? And we're going to go for it. Use this system of robberies down below that I'm going to talk to you about in a bit. And tell me if you know of any Stonewall robberies in the UK. And we can investigate them like Scooby-Doo. Right, because let's be real, robbery is a totally overused word. You get different types of decisions, and they all come under robbery if you don't agree with them sometimes. And there's also plebs who just scream robbery for the sake of it. So going into the three types of decision, the first one I've got is the correct decision. And first of all, no judge is going to score it the exact way you see it. They all have their own way of scoring fights. It's down to their whatever they see in the fight. Sometimes they might like the home fighter. Sometimes they may like clean shots, or they may like volume of shots. Different for different people, right? But a correct decision is where one boxer deserves to win by winning more rounds than the opponent, and he gets the decision by the judges. That's a correct decision. Then this is where we seem to go all over the show now, okay? There's the hometown decision and the political decision. I'm just looking at the political decision right now. Now this incorporates a number of things, all centralized around the fight being a close fight. For example, now I'm going to give you an example of a real fight, okay? I'm going to describe it to you, and for a bonus point, you tell me which fight it is, okay? Because you should know it, you really should, because you probably called it a robbery, okay? Now, this is a fight where both boxers struggled to land clean punches. Neither land a large quantity of shots per round, also known as both in single figures, so less than 10 punches landed a round. The champion has pushed the fight, trying to make a fight of it, but the opponent has literally no interest in making a fight of it, and this is also being shown to the fans' disgust. Now at the very end of the fight, because it goes the full 12 round distance, right, you've got 5 potential 10-10 rounds, okay? And that's a nice number, 5. I mean, if you want to say 4 10-10 rounds. If you want to say more, towards 6 or 7, I'm not going to argue with you, okay? There could have been 7 10-10 rounds in this fight. Put it like that, okay? Now, that fight ended in a split decision, where, and I'm going to quote this because I think it's worth pointing out that the only judge who gave it to the away fighter was an American. The European judge from the continent, gave it to the home fighter, and the United Kingdom judge gave it to the home fighter. So how can you just firstly tell me the fight, what it was, and 2, how is that a robbery when there's a potential 5 potential 10-10 rounds? It's impossible to be a robbery because one person will see it where 3 of the 5 will go to one guy, another person will say he did nothing to win the title, all 5 go to the champion. Another person will say all 5 gone to the challenger because the champion didn't do enough to win his title again. Do you see what I mean? It can't be a robbery because it's just too close to call. Point being, in this fight, they gave it to the home fighter because there would have probably been a riot if they gave it to the opposition fighter in that fight, because no one has yet told me that anyone deserved to win that fight outright. I don't see it anyway. Here's another one, another fight, totally different fight, okay? And this is where it's a hometown decision, but it's also because it's so close to call. You see, now this fight is so action-packed, it's got numerous knockdowns. There are 3 knockdowns in the first round, making it a 10-6 round. Keep hold of the math, because you have to use your math here, right? Now, they also lost the second round, 10-9, but then came back, doing okay in the third round, and that was a close 10-10 round. That could have gone either way, right? Now, like I said, literally doing the math, Boxer B, the one who was on the end of the 3 knockdowns, and the 10-9 round, literally cannot, drop another round going any further in, because he's already got a 5-point deficit going into round 4, okay? Now, this is such an action-packed fight. If you say that Boxer B won every single round from round 4 to round 12, you're probably a bit biased. Okay? If you said he won so many of them, I could probably agree with you. But in order for you to then say that that is a robbery, the way you work fights out, or you score fights, really has to come under consideration, and you probably want to evaluate that as like a life choice on if you should really score fights or just watch them for the sheer entertainment of it, because it's impossible to call it a robbery if you're working on a 5-point deficit after 3 rounds. It's impossible to call it a robbery, to be honest. So I've come up with a general rule, okay? And the basic and general rule to follow on robberies is that if both boxers can lay claim to 5 rounds apiece that they've won, okay, so both can say they've won 5 rounds, and you can see the rounds they've won, both of them, it's not a robbery, okay? It's just not a robbery. Now, what you're asking is, what is a robbery? So I'll answer that one for you now. And a robbery is where you and 99% of the audience, worldwide audience if you want, and I say 99% because there's always a few cunts roaming around, okay? They saw fighter A win by a landslide when they were not supposed to, okay? Now the judges gave the fight to fighter B, the opponent, even though it's mathematically impossible that they won enough rounds on your first viewing, your second viewing, and even your third viewing when you're scoring the fight looking for fighter B to give him points, okay? So try and see how they done it. Now a few examples, I'm just going to give you the names of these ones, are well known because you know all about them. Abril versus Rios, which I had 10 rounds to 2 in favour of Abril. Alexander versus Kotelnik, in which I had Kotelnik winning 9 rounds to 3. And Pacquiao versus Bradley, which I had 9 rounds to 3. Also, Marquez versus Pacquiao 3, okay, which I also had 9 rounds to 3. All of those can be seen as robberies, because there is no way that I could say Rios, Alexander, or Pacquiao or Bradley in those fights laid claim to 5 clear rounds. Or not clear, it doesn't have to be clear. If you can say they won 5 rounds, then it's not a robbery. But I cannot see that. Most people, I would say 99% of people cannot see that, and therefore they were robberies. You see what I mean? Now you tell me how you score robberies, or how would you define a robbery?